All right, what's going on, Giants fans? Week 7 offensive line report. Obviously a rough game for the Giants, one they had in the bag and ended up losing. Going to do 2 segments on today's O-line report. The first one, we're really going to go almost through every play of the final 2 drives. Have probably 4 missing from the second to last, every play from the final drive. So I just want to show what the offensive line looked like in the fourth quarter. And then we're going to spend about 5 minutes on Andrew Thomas. I didn't feel a need to do an individual video on Gates because a lot of his stuff showed up in there. Zeitler kind of seemed to be his normal self, good. Got bull rushed a couple times. Hernandez did have a couple plays there. He got beat inside, but overall happy with Hernandez. And then Fleming is just kind of who Fleming is. He's going to get beat around the edge 4 or 5 times a game. It wasn't a train wreck. He did give the sack on the last play, but also that, you had the ball with 20 seconds left and 40 yards to go. So like I said, we're going to go through some plays, some stuff. We'll get into it. I like what I saw at Nick Gates, and Andrew Thomas's struggles have been very, very real. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I found myself having notes on 8 straight plays on the second to last drive, the one the Giants ended up scoring a touchdown on, the Sterling Shepard touchdown. So I wanted to include the last 5 plays of the game with, the drive with the Evan Ingram drop. So I figured I'd put a good amount from both, all from the second one, but just kind of go through hey, look what happens when the offensive line actually plays pretty well. And there's some bad plays in here, but we'll go through it. So first play, I just want you to notice Nick Gates. I've been starting to call him Nasty Nick. Nasty Nick. Working a double. And I get that Hernandez is there, but I like that he folds on him and stays on top. And then watch this. Still, just, nothing crazy. I just like that this linebacker falls, and Nick Gates he's not trying to get up. He's just pushing dudes. I like that. Now here is the play action to Darius Slayton. Now, everyone does a good job except for old Cam Fleming. I want you to watch. He needs to come off and pick off this blitzing linebacker. I get it's hard to come off with Zeitler right there, but they've got to figure out a way to do that. But watch as he hooks this linebacker. That should be a holding call. And look where the quarterback is. That should be the Eagles fans, when they go back and look at that and saying that should have been a safety. That should have been a 9-point swing. Nonetheless, Giants end up converting, getting a first down out of it. Next play, let's watch Will Hernandez. So, all year, teams have been rushing 1, 2, 3, 4. They've been doing lots of stunts. So Nick Gates is originally usually not blocking anybody in pass pro unless it's just a 5-man, 6-man blitz. So he's usually looking to see if stunts are coming around trying to help other guys. So Will Hernandez finally, Nick Gates has a one-on-one. So Will Hernandez finally gets to help somebody. So what does he do? He makes him feel it. Bam, just puts it right in his ribs. That changes the way a guy rushes the passer, especially when he knows that there's going to be help. Bam, just puts it right through his ribs. I love that. Here, watch this Will Hernandez, Nick Gates double. And just moving a guy off the ball. That's beautiful. Hernandez comes off the linebacker at the right time. I mean, that's beautiful. That's beautiful from those two. Thomas clubs. These guys work a good double team. But the tight ends aren't the greatest blockers in the world. But it's still a positive play, so you can live with it. Next play, not good. I don't even know exactly what this is. It's not it's lean, but it's not crazy lean from Andrew Thomas. It's just you gotta realize at this point that he's probably not going to try and work it outside. And if you do, you have the advantage. You have to be ready to mirror him down. And he just expects a bull rush at that point, and he gets beat inside. Now Jones and Gallman make a great play, but I mean that could have been a third sack credited to Andrew Thomas in this game. Could have been a third sack. We got another play, good run blocking all up front from the offensive line. These guys doing their job. Thomas Hernandez working a backside double. They do their job. Caden does a decent job. But what ends up screwing it up? We're asking him to be a blocker. And he's just not. And he gets beat inside. Now let's watch if he was able to hold that block. Look at that hole. Look at that hole. I mean, everyone else is doing their job. It's not perfect blocks, but everyone else is doing their job. Everyone else is doing their job. Keep putting him in these situations, man. Sometimes it's like, when he does a really good job, it's a surprise, man. So I'm not even mad at him for that. This next play, again, Thomas getting beat by the spin move, man. It's good proportion right there. Not even a horrible punch. Just let's watch the feet. That foot, man, it swings. It won't power it down, not swing it, because at this point, now you're washing him into the quarterback. Now you're washing him into the quarterback. And then the last play of this drive that we're going to show, just let's watch Nick Gates again. Nasty Nick. Just nasty Nick, man. I love it. Everyone else does a job. I mean, it's in the red zone. But I love that from Nick Gates. All right, let's go through the final drive. Final drive. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball and try and stall some clock. Bam. Thomas is clubbing. One-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. Good stuff. Got to make this guy miss, Gallman. He plays the read option on Jones. And they get a big gain. Get a big game. You're feeling good. Feeling good right now. I mean, you live for that as a running back. You live for that as a running back. You have to make that play work, and Wayne Gallman does it. Again, all right, we're going to run the ball again. Thomas even gets beat inside on this one. But these two are working their double to here. And it's not a perfectly blocked play, but it opens up this. This double team from Nick Gates and Will Hernandez opens up this. And Zeitler just does just enough. Make a play. Make a play. You got it. You got a one-on-one with the safety. Gallman takes advantage of it. Gallman takes advantage of it. This play, now we're running the ball again. Let's watch Thomas on this play, because I don't know exactly what to think. But he helps out the tight end. If he doesn't help this out, this gets beat inside right away. And then Hernandez comes off to here. So it's not a greatest block. But it's kind of, it might just be on accident, but it ends up working out pretty well. Because it opens up this little bit of a hole. Opens up this little bit of a hole. Where if Thomas plays one way or the other, this play gets blown up. Opens up a little hole. You're able to get 3-4 yards. You can live with that. This next play is blocked really well. This is the read guy. We know Jones had the 80-yard run. This is the read guy. Let's watch everybody else. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, working up to here. He just plays it really well. It's the right decision. He plays this enough to where Jones can't keep. Jones can't really keep it at this point. He could, maybe they can bury it in there a little longer. He just takes the play from the backside. And then this. Good pass blocking. Good even from Thomas. There's a spin and he's ready for it. There's a spin and he's ready for it. Hernandez bunkers down. These guys are working with a stunt. Zeitler bounces off of him. Zeitler bounces Fleming off of that guy so Fleming could come off. Gates works to here. That's what you live for right there. That is what you live for right there. And it lets the Giants down. The offensive line did its damn job in the last two drives of the game. When it mattered, this offensive line did its job in the last two drives of the game. All right, let's get into the rest of it. All right, so like I said, we kind of got a good idea of most of the rest of the offensive line. Going to go through Andrew Thomas, obviously through a couple sacks. You saw a couple could-be sacks on that segment. We're going to go through 6 plays. 4 good, 2 kind of plays, and we'll go through it. And that'll be it for this week's O-line report. All right, let's look at Andrew Thomas. And three of these plays we've already looked at on the TV angle, but let's take a look at it with the all-22 and then a couple other things. So this is the first sack, man, and it's bam, bam, bam. That's good proportion. He starts to open his hips at the right time. At the right time. It's that punch, man. He's on his toes, leaning, and honestly, like, you got to let him come to you. He's just got to figure out the timing of this punch, and that's why they're doing different things with him, where it's like, one-handed punches and hand swats, because that spin, because it's just we're getting killed on the inside move, and then the foot goes from there to right here, and you just basically give him a path to the quarterback. What he needs to do is punch, not be leaning back. And as soon as he has that inside move, this foot needs to be here. Not swinging back here. Not swinging back here. Because if you don't let him go inside, you have it won. Because he's coming back here. He's not going to beat you around the edge. And then we also need to talk about Matt Parrott too. He had 4 reps at right tackle. He had 2 at his jumbo tight end. 4 reps at right tackle. Like I said last week, this is what will get him in trouble. He does a great job protecting the inside. He opens up his hips at 3 yards. At 3 yards of depth, he opens up his hips. He doesn't punch. Watch his hands. It's not a punch. It catches him. And look at that angle right there. He's got an angle right at the quarterback because his hips are open too early. And because he doesn't punch and really use his hands, Graham rips through. And they get a joint sack on the play. This one, man, this was the first time an Andrew Thomas sack was just based off of, like, bad awareness. So they're running a stunt. And this is I actually like this call from Philly. Because usually he's expecting 93 to loop around. So he does a good job passing it off, like great job passing it off to Hernandez. So I don't know if his eyes are on 93 or what. He's not watching 47, and he just lets the guy go by him. I don't know if he's waiting for 93 to loop around, and he gets the quarterback blindsided. Here's a stunt that him and Hernandez weren't able to get right. He does a good job working it off, but Hernandez comes off it late. Teams are realizing that if they can get this upfield, that they can loop around and get a free run into there. Now, Jones does a good job, and it is a long developing stunt, so it turns into a completion. Here, just watch how early his punches. Let him come to you, big dog. Let him come to you. Does a decent job recovering. Runs a spin on him. But we also, this is something that was talked about in the draft. Don't want to cross his legs up. Some good stuff here. Here's we'll do 2 good plays. Bam. Good fight. Good hand fight. Good hand fight. Look how close they are. Good hand fight. And now he's got to go upfield. He can't move back inside. Bam. Good stuff there. This next play, here's something where it's not like, oh, great technique from Thomas, but he goes up against a defensive tackle. And I just want to show this is why we liked him out of Georgia. Is this guy has a winning, he should win. But Thomas uses athleticism and strength to just power down on that, and then he goes back outside, and Thomas is able to wash him out. Now, defensive tackle isn't going to have, and I like how he finishes it a little bit too. A defensive tackle isn't going to have the pass rush moves of a defensive end. It's the same way a college player is not going to have the pass rush moves of an NFL guy. What we want is to get this against this is when I talked about out of the draft was recoverability. Recovers, washes out. That's the kind of stuff we want him to do against the NFL, and he needs to clean up the hands techniques. A little flex. I did talk to one of his trainers, and and he says it's all fixable. I'll pull it up right now. I wasn't planning on doing this. I'm a dummy. And I will go more in depth on this, on Thomas. Spend a little more time on him on the rookie breakdown, which interested to see the return of Mekhi Becton this week. See how well he played. I watched Wills give up one hit early in the game, but I wasn't paying attention much. He says, I sent him some of the stuff. He said those are fixable. You go through ups and downs as a rookie, especially at the O-line position. So he says it's fixable. Obviously, he's his trainer, so he's not going to give up on it. But anyways, seemed like the worst game for Thomas so far. All right, thanks for watching the Week 7 O-line breakdown. We're going to continue to have more and more content out. Going to do some streams this week since it is kind of a long week. Make sure to subscribe. We're growing. Make sure to subscribe. Appreciate all of it. We'll see you guys for the next one. Let's go Big Blue.